What is going on, guys? Welcome to the talk here on the Masculine Health Solutions podcast, where I just ask some of the questions that come up every now and again. And one of the questions that I got, on it was interesting, like an email. And he's just like, "Yo, man, what would you recommend for length?" Right? He's like, "I remember you mentioned that you had started your journey with the extender." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I started with the extender. Started off with some Vimax pills, as you guys remember, $500 right out the window. However, the one benefit that I got was the penis extender, right, with the rods. Old school as shit. Like, I'll tell you guys how bad it was, man. It was so bad that bloody thing, man, I had to ring it up with like a noose at the end of it. I was basically hanging my dick, no blood flow, to the point where it's kind of like the circulation sucked right at the tip, at the glands. But I was like, I could feel it in the suspensory ligament. I could feel the tug. And I was making gains, right? Combine that with JP's 90-day program, which I always talk about. And yes, it involved gelatin, and I didn't die. My dick got bigger, and it worked for other people too. So I know I'm not crazy. But that's initially how the journey started, right? And it started off with that old school extender, man. That thing was garbage. So it started off with the garbage extender with my shitty rig. And that's the way that I made my initial length gains, which is what the question was in regards to. Like, what would you recommend as the best way to put on length in 2025? And for me, bruh, like, I don't know if you guys have been watching the extender game as of late, but I'm like, God, like, these things are beautiful. Like, they got some spectacular products right now where I can't even... Like, I'm looking at these products and I'm like, bro, if one of these had existed back in the day, I would have gladly forked out my cash for them. You guys don't understand how good some of these extenders are. Like, I was looking at Basim's Epic extender, I believe, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, God, like, the thing is beautiful. Number one, and one of the most uncomfortable things, anybody knows that using an extender for like more than half an hour to an hour, whatever the case may be, is that it starts to press up against your pubic bone, right? And when it presses up against that pubic mound, man, that shit hurts like a motherfucker, right? That shit, it starts to kill, and you're like, I probably could extend for longer, but this thing is getting kind of uncomfortable. And I know that because I used to have a little plastic one, right? And that thing sucked balls, right? So I had that shit, that shitty plastic extender, man. And that thing pressed up on me, and I remember I would wrap it up with different things, like I'd wrap it up with like Band-Aid tape. I tried all kinds of different things. Like I got rags and stuff, and I remember I had like the most ghetto-looking rig at the end of it, man. It looked like something out of Waterworld, right, with a big old cock in between it. But the thing is, what I'm trying to get at now is that if you look at Basim's extender, it generates tons of force, but you can tell that they made this thing way more comfortable, man. Like, I believe it is the Epic extender that he's got, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the Epic extender, if you look at the base of it, beautiful. If you look at the rods on the side, beautiful. It's got a gauge at the top so you can tell how much tension or how much force is being produced by the extender that you're using. Also, those things, I wouldn't say they're massive, but they are properly sized for what it is that you need them to do, right? And they are... Honestly, and I'm looking at it too, and it tells you the tension on the side. It tells you in kilograms and pounds. So you can actually gauge how much force you're using to extend, right? And it's got the rods, so you can obviously, you can adjust the nuts and the bolts and whatever, all that stuff that's attached to the rods to make sure that you can, really get that stretch. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, God, like, I don't even have to try to tell you, like, that thing is beautiful. And no, I don't have any affiliate to them. I got none, bruh. But I'm just looking at him compared to like what we had back in the day, like the Restorex, and oh man, there was like all the different models, like the Alibaba shitty models, man. Like, bro, those things are absolute garbage. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Those things are garbage. It's got an orange one that looks like you're gonna X-ray your cock, dog. Like, that thing is absolute. I wouldn't trust it, man. Temu size extender is probably small anyway, so I wouldn't use it. But the Epic extender, the Apex extender. Look at the base, look at the model, look at how they're used. There's so many different videos on so many different channels, like Mr. X, the guy that I had on the show, who talks about the different extenders that exist out there and that he's using. Man, like, I just binge watched his videos the other day, and I'm just like, bro, like, these are fantastic. Like, you can tell there's some serious engineering going on. Like, it is not, bro, like that old, I guess, like archaic style where it almost looks like something that came out of the medieval realms. Like, we're done with that, man. When it comes to extenders, these extenders are looking hella good. So again, mention the Epic extender, Apex extender, both pretty similar looking models. There's also the Hog extender, I believe, and they're all kind of bulkier, but they look strong, man. They look strong and they look solid. You can tell that the people that designed them are guys that actually use them, right? So that's kind of on my goal to actually purchase that this year. Oh, and let me talk about one more thing. The cup to actually put the glands, it's contoured in a way where you can actually put your dickhead in there and it's going to fit snug and it's going to be secured. And you don't have to worry about the slippage, like slipping out. I think he even has a latex, I believe, where it's kind of more of a stickier type latex. So to prevent sliding and slippage, right? Which is actually a term in the stock market. But anyways, in avoiding that slippage, you can just worry about, getting your dick inside of it and not worry about it like kind of like slipping out, because it is kind of a shitty feeling. I remember being in the extender and it's kind of like you slowly feel, like your glands. It's like, oh snap, it's starting. Oh, I got to go and put this thing back in and I got to readjust it. And that's really annoying when it comes to PE, because like I said, one of the fundamentals when it comes to penis enhancement and making your dick bigger is to make sure you do it in a way that's comfortable. If it's comfortable, if it's pleasurable, if you enjoy it, you're seeing the gains, you're going to continue doing more and more of it, right? And that's what actually makes it so people stick to it. It's the same as the gym, right? So anyways, I would 100% recommend the Epic extender, or Epic or Apex extender. Both of them, absolute money. The Hog extender looks really good as well. I'm going to give them all their flowers, bro. So if I was looking to put on length in 2025, my man, I would go with the extenders, right? I would combine that with hanging, maybe, why not? Hanging is still super effective. I believe that hanging still serves a massive purpose. You could always use them in conjunction. There's different ways to go about extending. Some guys will do it kind of the same way as pulse pumping, where you'll work up to like a higher tension and then boom, you slide back, boom, go up, slide down, right? So it kind of depends on who you are, your training methodologies, how you want to go about it. But I say right now, like pound for pound, undisputed champion when it comes to length, I would go with the extenders, dude. Because right now, those extenders, bro, like that's some next level engineering. Like they look beautiful, they look comfortable, and they're pretty affordable too. If I'm not mistaken, they're about $250 USD, right? And like I said before, I dropped like 500 Canadian dollars, which is equivalent to Monopoly money. But back then it was probably valued higher, right? So yeah, I think it's very affordable. It's not a bad price, and I would highly recommend them, man. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, bro, like the length gain has just changed for everybody. You don't got to use the Restore-X, you don't got to use the old shitty ones. Like these are the top 3, cream of the crop. And this is just off the top of my head. Like I don't remember, I didn't actually have my stuff open when I was doing this, like my notes and that. But I would roll with those two because, gosh, man, I'm looking at them and I'm like, bro, I wish that had existed when I started my PE journey, because you can avoid so much more, like, troubleshooting and trying this and trying that. You don't want to do that, man. You want to find something that's good, something that works, something that's effective. Stick to it. Give yourself about 6 months, and I'm pretty sure you'll probably make 1 inch to like 2 inches of length gains. I believe so. And the reason why I believe it is that those things are a lot more comfortable, which means you can use it for a whole lot longer. But that's kind of I'd say right now, like as far as, if you want to make length gains, I would get myself one of these new penis extenders, because these penis extenders in 2025 are looking completely different from the bullshit that existed back in like 2011, 2010, man. Like that's a whole different bag of worms. Like those extenders, absolute garbage. And like I said, you don't got to rig it up. You don't got to change it. There's so many beautiful things. And they have the add-ons too, I believe, in both of the websites. And like I said, I'm not affiliated to any of these. However, I can tell by just like looking at these that these extenders are going to change the game. I do have an affiliate to Total Man Shop, and I'd say their extenders are okay. You could get their stuff from them too, but these guys, it looks like they specialize in extenders, and you could tell by the craftsmanship, by the builds, like absolute stunner extenders, right? Like to the point where I'm like, okay, I want to get into length gain again, because like it's the best way to go about it passively. So if I were to be pursuing strictly length in 2025, I would get myself a penis extender. I would use it, and I'd go from there, man. Just see how much, how many gains I can make from using. You just got to experiment with it. Try different programs, a lot of good stuff on the forums, and just go from there.